Alright guys, we are back with another new playthrough. This one is Doom Eternal. We are finally on it. I don't think we're gonna do the DLC, to be honest. Especially because the DLC is really hard from what I heard. But we are gonna do the campaign. I forgot they added a PS5 version, so that's why it says new game. I beat it on the PS4. We should probably do that version because it'll be way easier with all the upgrades I have, but I guess not. We're gonna do... Nah, we're not gonna do the easiest. We'll do normal, which has hurt me plenty. My goal is to finish this by tomorrow night, because that's when Doom the Dark Ages comes out. But we're gonna see. We're also gonna be seeing, me and my fiance, a movie tomorrow, which a review will come out for. Afterwards, probably, if I come back, because I'm going to try to do a short stream, at least like 2 hours before we leave. And then maybe if we come back and we have a good amount of time, we could do like another hour or two. If we don't finish tomorrow, then we're just going to be a day late probably on the new Doom. But it does come out tomorrow night. It officially releases for anyone getting it physically on Tuesday. But anyone getting it digital knows they usually get it the night before or the day before. And for me, it's 9 o'clock tomorrow night. So, obviously, we're not going to be streaming it that late, but still. The goal was to finish Doom Eternal by then. We will see how this goes. Right now, we're going to shoot for 2 hours. In 2 hours, when we hit 2 hours on the video, we'll see how much we've completed. If it's enough, then we'll stop. If not, we'll see if we can do it for another extra hour or two. This game is actually a little bit more difficult, just a little bit, than Doom 2016. And Doom 2016 wasn't that hard either.
Attempting to acquire.
So we will see how this goes. Again, it's all dependent on how much we complete today, if we'll finish it tomorrow. When we stop today, I'll let you know if we're going to finish it by tomorrow. Because if I'm able to stream in the morning and at night, then we should definitely finish it, as long as we do at least 2 hours both or more. But it's dependent on today, so we'll see how much we do today. But yeah, as for the movie that we're going to be watching, it's called Shadow Force, so expect probably a review for that on Tuesday. If we play it when we come back tomorrow, we were not going to do the review then. We'll probably do it on Tuesday. So just expect it on Tuesday. But this game does start off immediately right into the action. I'm just more interested, for the new Doom, I'm more interested to see how they tie in the story, because if y'all seen like the reveal trailer and stuff, you know... Oh, I'm getting a drink real quick. You guys know that there's some villains in there that they're never spoken about in Doom 2016 or Doom Eternal. So... I'm glad we have a shotgun right off the bat instead of just a pistol. But yeah, those enemies are not talking about in Doom 2016 or Eternal. So I want to know how they tie in to those games. Since it is a prequel to Doom 2016, I want to know how it ties into that game and then ultimately Eternal. Because I feel like the enemies in Dark Ages can kind of somehow be tied into the Eternal enemies. As we play along, you'll see that we get into this like weird storyline of it's not just demons anymore. It's like the god demons, like Satan and other demons, and they are the ones that brought the demons to Earth. So it's not just like a demon thing anymore. It's like a god demon type of thing, which is interesting, right? But that's what those bad guys in Eternal look like. I mean, not Eternal. In Dark Ages, they look like godly enemies. So maybe they're somehow tied to Eternal. Again, I haven't beat the DLC for Ancient Gods Part 2. I played the first one. That one wasn't too difficult. And when the second one came out, I downloaded it. I was going to play it. And then my friend, which never tells me, he told me, hey man, you're going to want to watch a review before you play it. And I was like, why? He never tells me to watch reviews. And he's like, I don't think you're going to want to play the DLC. And I was like, what are you talking about? So I watched a review because he told me, just trust me, watch a review. And the only reason why I just trusted him and watched it was because he never tells me to do it. He'll tell me a game is so good and that I should pick it up even if I think it doesn't look good. Like, he'll be like, trust me, it's good. And I'm like, ugh. But this one, he said, dude, trust me, you're going to want to watch a review. And I was like, huh. Okay, so I watched it, and it looks good, but the combat in that, like the final boss of that DLC, it's near impossible to beat. I watch Game Ranks for anyone who knows who they are, and they break down like top 10s, like top 10 like most popular games of the year, or of the summer, or of the particular month. Like they did one recently for big games of May. They do it for every month. The biggest games you need to get in May, and some you can wait on or stuff like that, or some you should or some you shouldn't wait on. Like they do all that, right? Well, they did one. I don't know. They've done like 2 or 3 videos like of this kind, and the first one was like top 10 hardest bosses in games, and it was like a compilation of multiple different games. And I think the number one on that list was the final boss fight of Doom Eternal, the Ancient God Part 2 DLC. And I was like, bro, I am not playing this DLC if it's in a top 10 most hardest bosses and it's number 1. I'm not gonna beat it. And then even for the people that say it isn't hard, like one of my other friends, he said it still took him like 2 hours to beat the boss. I'm not wasting 2 hours on just a boss fight. I'm sorry, I refuse. That's ridiculous. It's no game should take you 2 hours for a boss fight, unless it's like a whole bunch of mini bad guys leading up to the boss, and all that takes 2 hours, and there's a little bit of downtime and getting healed and stuff. Then that makes sense. But otherwise, no, the boss should not be taking 2 hours alone. And I think the boss had like 4 phases too. That's ridiculous. Even the boss in Eternal, the final boss of this game, has like 2 phases, and they only take about 10 minutes apiece. 20 minutes, reasonable. 2 hours, uncalled for. Just ridiculous. So I don't know if I want to do the DLC, because I was originally just going to do the first DLC, but I feel like doing the first one and not getting the story of the second one would just piss people off. So I just don't think I'm going to do the DLC at all, because unfortunately, even if I was to beat it, I'm not wasting 2 hours on a boss. And unfortunately for me, knowing how hard some of the Doom games are, I don't think I'd be able to beat it. I do not. And I would rage and obviously just quit, which would just leave me without finishing it. So there's really no point in me even starting it. I do know the story. I don't remember it 100% word for word, but I do know the gist of what happens. And I was thinking Doom: The Dark Ages would take place after Eternal. Obviously we know now that's not where they're going. They want to do a prequel to Doom 2016. However, Doom 2016 was a sequel to Doom 3, the old Doom games. So I'm thinking Doom: The Dark Ages, if it's a prequel to Doom 2016, it must be a sequel to Doom 3. So we will see how that goes. I just want to see how it all ties in with the whole Doom universe, right? But I'm excited. I've heard like non-spoiler reviews, and they are mixed for 2 reasons. Apparently the mech things that people find ridiculous. Even I found it ridiculous. I don't like mech games, but I just thought it was cool seeing like a giant Doom beat up a giant demon. I really didn't plan that to be like a whole 3-hour thing, which it's not. So I feel like for me they're not complaints, but for other people they are. So without getting into spoilers, because I haven't watched spoilers, but this is just a little bit about the mechanics of the game. So for apparently, one thing people are not liking about the game is the dragon sequence. You know how he rides a dragon in the game? This is disappointing for me, but I didn't expect it to be a huge thing. The dragon sequences and the mech sequences, they're not long. They're like 1 or 2 missions, and they don't last long. Granted, I was already expecting them to not last long, so I went in with low expectations on those. I just thought it was cool that they were in there in the first place. I didn't expect the dragon sequence to be like, once you got the dragon, that was the only way you traversed through the game and did combat. I was not thinking that. I just was cool. I was happy to see just the dragon in the game, because I love dragons, so that was enough for me. I didn't expect it to last like a 3-hour sequence over like 4 chapters. Apparently, other people were. I was not. And as far as the mechs, that's literally like 1 mission. Literally. What they showed you in the trailer, apparently, is that 1 mission, and that's the only mission you get to use the mech. Again, I was expecting that. I wasn't expecting it to be like a multiple mission thing, because a lot of games do that, right? For example, Gears 4 was a perfectly good example of that. They brought mechs in at the end, and they tied it into the story so well. They said it's still under prototype. We don't even know if it'll work. And by the miraculous end story pacing bullshit, it actually worked. And it was only in that 1 mission. So, again, I just was not expecting it to last multiple missions or like it be a permanent feature now. Apparently others were. I was not. So this is another reason why I always tell people to go in with lower expectations, because then something might happen that you don't want to happen. But it's not a problem to me, because I wasn't expecting them to be like half the game anyway. So I don't have a problem with it. I'm just glad they're in there and they look really cool. So, but that's the only thing I'm seeing that people do not like, which is fine by me. I don't have a problem with it, so I do not care. But I do want to finish this one fast, so we can hopefully play Doom the Dark Ages on launch. If not, we are going to be a day short. Just because I'm not just going to skip this game and go into Doom the Dark Ages. I wanted to do a whole story understanding, just in case that game ties in any story to Doom 2016 or Eternal, which I'm practically at least 90% sure it will. Even if it's like a couple old enemies, or just bringing up their name. Like, for example, what I'm kind of expecting to happen is I'm expecting them to be like, when you, like, for example, let's say you beat the final boss and they're like, oh, there's a much more powerful deity or demon out there than me. And they're like, oh yeah, what's the name? And his name is, and it's a like final boss fight of like Doom 2016 or Eternal. Like it's what's the girl from 2016 that was trying to bring the demons into our world? Olivia? Like they're like, Olivia, she's working for the UAC, but she's a traitor. She's been working for us all along. One day she'll bring the demons to Earth. And then we know, I mean, yeah, that happened in 2016 and that's how it ties it in. Like, it would make sense, right? I'm expecting stuff like that to happen. I'm not expecting some big bombshells. I seen someone on Reddit, and this is total Reddit mentality. I laughed at this. Someone's like, those new enemies that you see in Dark Ages, they're the Doomslayer's not going to be able to beat them. And they're going to survive, and somehow they're going to say, we'll meet you next time. And then, like, 2 months after Dark Ages comes out, Bethesda and Microsoft, since Microsoft now owns Bethesda, which makes Doom, they're gonna announce a Doom Eternal DLC that has those enemies in it. And I'm like, yeah, no, that's not gonna happen. Wishful thinking, and that would be totally cool, and I would totally buy into that, but no, it's not gonna happen. The Doom DLC ended like 3-4 years ago. We're not going to see a random shadow drop for a Doom DLC just because Doom the Dark Ages had some really cool enemies and they wanted to bring them in that. Now, what I do see happening is maybe doing a Doom the Dark Ages DLC with those enemies in there, considering Doom Eternal got DLC. And the Doom Dark Ages DLC takes place after Doom Eternal, and it shows those enemies. That's what I do see happening. Or, better yet, instead of a DLC, they could do an expansion. That's a little bit far-fetched because Doom isn't, like, up for expansions like that, but I can see it happening, especially with Dark Ages as big as it's doing. And I hope, I looked at pre-order numbers and stuff. It's selling like hotcakes. it is the best-selling Doom so far. And I feel like that's the chainsaw and the grappling, was it the sickle? The thing with the iron ball in the end, and the shield. I feel like all the new features and weapons they added is what's driving people to being like, holy crap. And it's the most brutalist and goriest ever, with all the combat stuff they got going on and new, like, what are they called? They said Slayer mechanics. That sounds awesome. I don't know what that is, but it sounds awesome. But I think what they could do, if they don't do like a DLC, is they could announce an expansion for Doom Eternal, but the expansion takes place after Doom Eternal, and it's for Dark Ages, and it takes place after Doom Eternal, and I can only see that happening if the story for Doom the Dark Ages actually takes place, like if it ties into Doom 2016 and Eternal. That's the only way I can see them tying in stuff like that. If not, I would say like they do like an ending title card, like saying these bad guys will return or something, and that's like the game after Doom the Dark Ages. But I think that's like the less likely. I feel like they're gonna do another DLC season pass stuff, like they did with Eternal, with the Ancient Gods, Part 1 and Part 2. That apparently did pretty well for them, and it was their first time trying that. So I think they might try to do it again. I could be wrong, but I think that would be smart on their part. And if they do tie it to 2016 and Eternal, that would be a perfectly good way to just do a DLC or expansion for Dark Ages set after Eternal. Because I'm telling you, those enemies in Dark Ages looks like they could be enemies in Doom Eternal. I could be wrong, but they look like the Ancient Gods that we see at the end of Eternal and in the Ancient Gods DLCs. So I'm hoping I'm right, because they did say it was going to tie into 2016 and Eternal. They didn't say how, but they did basically confirm that it's going to tie in, and they 100% confirmed in like multiple interviews that it is a prequel to 2016. So I don't know. I'm just hoping. I'm not worried, but I'm hoping the story is so badass that, like, on its own, and that it ties into both games, so it makes sense. I really do want to see like a continuation of Eternal, though, story-wise. So my hope is that they tie the story a little bit into Eternal and in some way, but we'll wait to see how it happens. But yeah, I'm excited. It releases tomorrow night, unless you're getting it physically. It's Tuesday, well, whenever your store opens up that you're getting it at. I'm excited. I mean, I love 2016 for what it was, but I love Eternal even more. The grapple, the chain, not the chainsaw, what is it? What do we get? The sword, is it the grapple? Yeah, the grapple on the shotgun, love that. What else was there? Like, just the new bosses, the new environments, the super fast pace. I think it was a little fast than I wanted it to be. I like that it's faster than 2016, but I don't like that it's super freaking fast. I think that's way too fast for me. So I'm glad that Doom the Dark Ages is actually lowering the speed a little bit, because it still looks fast, which is what I want, but I don't want it to be as slow as 2016. That one was really slow. Or the old Doom. It was just way too slow. I like the fast pace. I work better in the fast paced games where I'm having to constantly be on my instincts and game, or else I'm kind of screwed. I love that. So, I loved I loved Eternal. So if Doom the Dark Ages can kind of like do me like Eternal does, I'm gonna love it. Probably more than Eternal, and yes, it's because I'm biased, but because there's freaking dragons in it, and I love dragons. But the weapons also look cool. Like, the shield looks like it could be just as fun as that. The shotgun with the grapple. So I hope I love it just as much, if not the same. But yeah, super excited. Cannot wait to play it. We're just gonna have to hope we finish this game on time so we can play it. If not, we're gonna be a little day late on that, but We will get to it. Is that it? There's no more ammo? Wow, that's... Okay. Sure. Let's do the micro missiles. Alright. Let me know if you guys are excited for Doom Eternal. I mean, not Eternal. Wow. The Dark Ages. Let me know if you're excited for Dark Ages. I am beyond excited. I'm super hyped. The grenade is L1, right? Yeah. Wow, I totally jumped. Are you kidding me? Hold on, let me take a drink. We do not have the dash yet, so we might die a couple times. Oh boy. Got him. Is the other ammo that I saw around here. There we go. It is so hot where I'm at, so we have to constantly stay hydrated or we're gonna die. Oh boy. Okay, what hit me? What the hell would you come?
The UAC would like to thank you for your support during this transmission.
Alright, I need to find... Okay. I need to get up there for that armor. There we go. God. Yeah, boy. Alright, I think that's the end of the first mission, right? What the? Oh, the portal's not open. There's still some enemies. Is that it? Was he the last one? Yep. Okay.
The Khan Maker is nearby.
Let's get the hell out of
She is
here.
inside that demonic citadel. I will mark her location on your HUD.
Right.
The gathering of Hell Priests is located just above your location. My scans indicate there is a lift at the center of this facility.
Fast travel. Okie dokie.
The Khan Maker is present at this gathering, but when outside of her domain, she is by all accounts indestructible.
How can this be? No man can pass through the gate. It is... This stops nothing! The sacrament of this world to the great Khan Maker will be made, and the energy will be restored once again. As it is written, from the souls of the non-believers, you will not save them from their judgment.
They were like, okay, so this guy is insistent on fighting us. Yeah.
This time, you cannot interfere. This is humanity's chance to repent, to give service to us.
No, I'm good.
You cannot resist the will of the Khan Maker.
Activating the portal now.
For it was you who was meant to enforce it.
Okay, that was the first mission. Let's go to second one. That was pretty quick. How long was that? A little over 30 minutes. Yeah, I think we can complete half the story today.
I do not have the means to locate the second
I
hell
think we can do
priest.
that, no problem.
Your celestial locator is missing a component. We will need a replacement. I've completed the redesign of your equipment launcher. The flame belch is now ready for your approval.
Alright, let's go. We go into the portal? Oh, right here. What is that? Oh, the flamethrower, yes. Well, getting into Doom for the next game. No, funny enough, I was already into Doom. I did 2016 like a month and a half ago. And then I said I was gonna save Eternal for like right before Doom, the Dark Ages. So 2016 is already on the channel. I'm just doing Eternal in preparation for Dark Ages, just in case they try to tie the story in to 2016 and Eternal. And they've already confirmed it's a prequel to 2016, so I already know it's gonna tie some elements from 2016 in. I don't know about Eternal, but I have theories. I have theories that some of those enemies and stuff look like they're from Eternal, so fingers crossed. What is the best one I want? I feel like I want ammo. I use the flamethrower a lot. Alright, let's do the ammo. I'm not worried about armor or health, I just want ammo. So let's unlock the ammo one. The next one we'll do armor. But yeah, totally. This is a playthrough for preparation of the next Doom. Guaranteed. Guaranteed, that's exactly what this is. I'm excited just because I love the Doom games, even the older ones. Hell, even like the Doom-like games like Serious Sam. I like Serious Sam. I don't remember what the other one was that is kind of like Doom, but I like that one as well. I went the wrong way, didn't I? I think I went the wrong way. I'm supposed to jump on something. Ah. Hey, puppers. Oh, there was like a wolf. Oh boy. Yo, we might actually get all the collectibles, like, on the first playthrough, just because I've played so much of Doom 2016 and Eternal, and I feel like I remember 100% where every one of those little collectible cards are. Damn it, they keep breaking. Bro, I'm getting trophy after trophy because I'm playing the PS5 version. I didn't want that slow loading of Doom of the PS4 version. Oh, we got a big guy. Hold on, slow down, buddy. Here we go. Oh, we actually didn't waste that much ammo. Oh, we got the blood punch. I love that. Yes, I know how to use the blood punch. Oh, we have to kill to save it up. I thought there was a bug falling on me, so I panicked. You know how I am with the bugs. Wait a minute, there is a 1-up right there. Hold on. Um, What do we do? What do we do? I don't have the dash yet, so I can't do that. Hmm? Yeah. Hmm? No. Imagine, hi, Rapunzel here. I'd be like, this is not Disney. What the hell is that? A bowling ball? Oh, it's so hot. Shit, that fire is smacking.
You cannot kill the priests. You know our laws. Despite their transgressions against the Covenant, they are still of Sentinel blood. What you interfere with now is bigger than you can imagine. It is written.
Who is that?
It is their time to give penance.
Yeah, all I remember is the bad guys, the makers.
You will bring down the heavens' wrath.
He doesn't care.
You are but one man. They are no longer your
I still
people
think they
to
should have put the
save.
Doom Slayer and freaking Super Smash Brothers. Ugh. I think he would have been like one of the most awesome additions to the game. Okay. We're underground now. Let's get that ammo. Apparently we need that health as well. Oh, the electrical floor. Oh, it's this one where I have to navigate. Where'd he go? Ow. There we go. That took a little bit longer than I was expecting it to. Oh, there's nothing down here. Oh, this is the same area. It's just electrocuted now. I'll bet you we can go over to that other area now. What was the whole point of climbing? What the? Isn't this supposed to lead me out, or am I going the wrong way? Okay, I guess not. I came from this way. Is there another door open? No. Where do I go? Wait, what? I am so confused. I don't understand. Let's open up the map. Yeah, I need to go up there somehow. Dude, but how? What in the living gods? Okay. Oh, right here. I was like, what the heck?
This Sentinel battery can be used to provide additional power to your ship.
I can go take care of this
Several modules
now,
remain unused.
since I got the
Finding
dash.
more batteries will enable you to utilize the full functions of your command station.
Alright, let's see if we can do this the first try. Usually these are medium to hard difficulty. Sometimes they're easy, so I mean, fingers crossed I get the easy one. Yeah, I know how it works. You just gotta clear the encounter in the time limit. There we go. Okay, guess that wasn't too difficult. I mean, they did refill me on a lot of the ammo. Perfect. Okay. Now we can go where we're supposed to go. There we go. Wow. Booyah. Ooh, I love this gun. Just so you know, I don't know much about Doom. That is perfectly fine. To make it easy and to understand, it's just a human fighting for Earth against demons trying to overtake Earth. That's literally Doom. I mean, it's a little bit more convoluted when you get into the story, but that's basic. That's the basic premise, without completely like confusing someone. Just a human in a Doom suit. Well, maybe he's not human. It's again, it's a little confusing once you get into the story, but it's basically a human in a suit trying to defend the people of Earth from basically the demons invading. And I don't know what the hell happened there. I got trapped. I got ganged on. I was just trying to figure out what was the best way to go. These two weapons are the best ones I have right now. So off topics are okay. Oh yeah, you don't have... Whenever I do a stream, you don't always have to talk about the game I'm doing. You can talk about whatever. It's your preference. This is just what I'm playing. You don't have to talk about what I'm playing. It's perfectly fine. That guy died way too easy. This guy. I don't have the ability yet. Question, are there enemies that are not demons? In this game, yes. In Doom 1, 2, 3, no. And Doom 2016, not really. Well, there is one enemy. Her name is Olivia. She's a human, but she's working to bring the demons to Earth. So she kind of betrayed humankind for the demons. But she is a human. Until the end, this is a bit of a spoiler, but that game's been out since 2016. Until the end, where she injects herself with the demon power, so she becomes part demon. She's the final boss. Except for that, she's mostly human. But she's complete bad person. She is not good. This game, though, you will see. This, I don't know how to. If you ask me about the demon faction is overused. Yes and no. It is in the older games, because that was like the big hip thing that they went with. When they did 2016, they tried to use demons and a little bit of like other stuff to see how people took it, and it did well. So then in this game, which is the sequel to the 2016 one, they did... Honestly, I think demons are underused. In the first 2, maybe 3 missions, you're going to see a lot of demons. And then it kind of goes weird. I don't really want to spoil it, but there's gods. They're bad. That's all I'm gonna say. It's weird, and it doesn't really make sense to like the last 2 missions. And I think that was completely like intentional. They kind of wanted you to leave you on edge as to what was really going on. I liked it, and that's why I'm excited for the one that comes out on Monday, Doom: The Dark Ages, because I think it's gonna tie. It's gonna tie. Okay, cool. Some people don't like spoilers, you know. I mean, but it's an old game, so if you don't want spoilers for Doom Eternal or Doom 2016, I'm gonna speak spoilers, because the whole reason why I'm doing this is for the new Doom. But at the same time, these games have been out since a while. Doom 2016 was out since 2016. This game came out what, like 2021, 2022? They've been out a while. So if you don't want spoilers, I'm sorry, but they've been out for a while. I'm Warframe player. I have a friend that plays Warframe so much. I played it when it first came out a little bit, and then I was like, I'm okay. It's just not my type of game. It's fun. But I can't play it like forever. I need to play actual games. I think the only free-to-play game that I still play to this day is Fortnite, right? That's the only free one I play.
There is a central power core,
and that's just because they keep adding new stuff to it, and it's fun. Do you know Soulframe? Oh, well, Roblox, but I had the whole. My fiance got me into Roblox, and I really just play it for mostly horror games. Because the horror games are cool in Roblox. And I had to pay to, like, make a character, so I don't really consider it free anymore. Soulframe.
Pay for your skins and Fortnite.
You don't have to. It's just for design. I choose to, though. Yeah, okay. Fortnite is cool. What's the comment? Soulframe is made by Digital Extremes, the makers of Warframe. I mean, they basically have the same name, just Soul and War. It's an massive multiplayer RPG. Online RPG. What's about nature and industry, and it's super beautiful. I'm sure it is. I'm gonna already tell you I don't like it. And let me explain why. I don't like online multiplayer games. Let me get a little bit more into detail because that sounds confusing. The game you're describing, I know a game just like it, and it's in a franchise that I love. I just don't like the fact that it's always online and it's way harder to play solo. So, the game I'm talking about is Final Fantasy XIV. I love Final Fantasy. That game is completely an MMORPG. A lot of people love it. I don't like it. I don't like the grindy aspects. I don't like that it's always online. If I wanted to play it solo, I still need to have it connected to the internet. I don't like that. I don't like games like that. I'm getting tired that some games come out and they always have to be online. If it has a solo story attached to it, I shouldn't have to be online for the solo story. That is the most stupidest thing ever. But yeah, no. I'm sure it's good. Like, I played Warframe for like a week when my friend showed it to me, and then I don't even want to play it anymore. It wasn't my type of game. You know, it was fun the little bit I played, but then I can't see myself playing it, like, for example, as much as he does. He plays it all the time. Yeah, he plays it all the time. See, my friend doesn't, and I'm not dogging anyone that's like this. I know a lot of people like this. I just think it's sad. One game is not for everyone. Yes, exactly. There are a lot of games that some people like that others don't, and that's fine. A game doesn't have to be made for everyone. I agree. But there are some people that think every game needs to be made for them. Like the people that complain about the Souls games. Like, they're too hard, put in easy mode. Dude, they're not meant for you. Like, I even play the Souls games, and I'll admit some of them are hard, right? I just won't play them. I won't play them, I won't buy them. Plain and simple. Yeah, maybe the story looks cool, but if it's too hard, I'm not gonna buy it. I'll look up the story. There are some people out there that think every game needs to be made for them. Or every movie and TV show needs to be made for them. No, I'm sorry. There's a reason why there's different people and different likings that those people like out there. Not everything has to be made for everyone. Okay, give me some. But yeah, I agree. I like Warframe. it's pretty fun, but not to play it as much as a lot of other people play it. It's fun though. I like that they keep doing updates to it and making it better and more, adding more new stuff. That's cool. I'm pretty sure they do the same thing for that other game, Soulframe, as well, considering it's made by the same developers. It's just like, I think there's very few free games that come out and are actually good, especially nowadays. So, new update is coming in June. Yeah, see, I'm sure they still like update the games constantly, which is good. I'm glad for the people who like playing them like a lot. I'm pretty sure that's amazing that they keep adding stuff for them. So, they don't stick with me sometimes. And sometimes the paid ones don't stick with me, but that's the risk we're taking when we pick up a game and try to play it, or pick up it and buy it. So we're risking either it's going to be good or not. There's no game like Warframe, and there's no game like Digital Extreme. No company like Digital Extreme. I mean, if they're an indie developer, I've seen a lot of indie developers that have great stories. They make small games, and eventually they get enough attention that they become like a name that everyone knows. Because I follow, I've seen the updates they've done from Warframe since they launched, and I think they're cool, but it's just more Warframe. If they added something that was a little different for Warframe, it might get different players in. Not saying they have to, I'm just saying, like, I think a game, if it's constantly ongoing, it doesn't just have to cater to the old fans that like it. It has to get new fans in, or the numbers will eventually dwindle, and obviously less and less people will be playing it. So I think at some point they need to like look at other options to like increase numbers, because there are so many free games that get shut down because their numbers do not do well. And a game like Warframe, I hear so many people talk about it. I would hate for it to shut down just because people are like, oh, it's the same old all the time and we're tired of it. I don't want that to happen with any game, let alone a free game that is apparently really beloved by a lot of people. I don't want that to happen, but it can happen. The devs play their own game. I know a lot of companies that actually play their own game. A perfectly good example, I can name two right off the top of my head. Atlas, the companies that make Persona, as well as the new recently Metaphor Fantasio, they always play their game. Well, hold on, let me finish. They always play their game, and they always implement feedback with fans if they can do it with the style and ideas they're going with. Because they like getting the difference of opinions and trying it out to see how they like it and how others are gonna like it. So that's one company. And another company, despite what people think,
betrayer's life signal is nearby. There are motion sensors and artillery everywhere.
I told you all to leave me here. I am where I belong. Saving your people will not bring you peace. Only make the burden you carry worse. And now you seek to defy the Khan Maker herself. It is your people's time now to give penance, just as it was mine. Hear me, Slayer. When his heart is laid to rest, then his soul will be at peace. And so will mine.
The extraction point has been identified. I will mark its location on your HUD. can now find the remaining Hell Priests by activating your celestial locator. The second Hell Priest is located in the northern region of Earth. I will calibrate the portal now. The hub has several areas locked off due to power constraints. Once power has been restored, you will be able to access the entire ship. Sentinel energy levels rising, re-establishing power to core and supplementary systems. Modification to your equipment launcher has been completed. Once fired, the bomb will douse nearby enemies in freezing gases. You'll have to manually toggle the launcher to fire either ice bombs or frag grenades.
broadcast to any ARC personnel.
The Hell Priest is somewhere in this facility. I cannot pinpoint his exact location at this time.
Is my time at an end? Let's see if you're strong enough to survive this cursed citadel.
The Slayer has arrived. All mortally challenged personnel, please be advised.
This draws near to me, my brothers and sisters, but he is weak. Your hate must match his will. Only then will you be truly saved. Your salvation lies in his destruction. The myth of the Slayer's strength is exposed now to us. Can you see it, brothers? He has lost the resolve to continue. Eat his soul. I must survive this. Protect me in my time of need, and you will secure your place in the new world.
Your super shotgun is nearby, a relic from your past. The priests have kept it hidden from you in this remote location.
Attention, all mortally challenged personnel. The Slayer is inside the facility. Please proceed with aggression.
connection successful. You are now in control of the Revenant drone. You may use it to reclaim your property.
Attention, all cultist base personnel. Please destroy the Slayer. The priest must survive. I repeat, the priest must survive.
tired, Slayer. We will break your will yet. Fear you. This match is not won yet. Come find me, Slayer. I will be waiting.
has stopped moving. I will lock in signal now. The Hell Priest's position is stable now, and his guardian is somewhere in the facility ahead.
was not easy to find an opponent worthy of the Slayer, but I think you will be impressed.